Namaskar. I'm Harpreet Kaur and I welcome you all to our live and interactive online training session on ICT for teaching and learning of languages. This online training program is organized by Central Institute of Educational Technology NCERT New Delhi. This is a 5-day, 5-hour training program where each day 1 hour between 4 and 5 p.m. from Monday to Friday is dedicated to our online training sessions. Each day we bring you different themes under the umbrella theme, of course, and we invite eminent personalities in our studios or they join us online and we discuss the subject matter in detail. Today is the day 1 of the training session where we are going to talk about ICT for teaching and learning of languages, policy perspectives, need and scope. Now we all know that ICT has brought in a certain kind of revolution when it comes to education. ICT is definitely playing a very important role here. When it comes to language learning, now we are witnessing concepts like virtual labs. In fact, National Education Policy 2020 is also focusing on the use of digital technology for education. Well, there are so many reasons behind it. We can say equity in education, inclusivity in education and whatnot. So today we will discuss, of course, the policy perspective, need and scope for the same. It's a training program that you are watching live on our PME Vidya channels from 6 to 12 and also on our YouTube channel NCERT Official. So if you have any questions, please call us and the phone number is 8800440559. You can also write an email to us and our email ID is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. Last but not the least, since you're watching us live on our YouTube channel NCERT Official, you can always go to the comment section, put in your questions there, your suggestions, your feedback and get in touch with us. I request all our viewers to kindly not mark your attendance but ask relevant questions. Now, who is there with us on day 1? We are joined by our expert and I will introduce him to all of you. But before that, let me tell you, it's a training program. And I will tell you the ways how you can register yourself and what are the steps you need to follow for taking up the assessment by the end of the session. But for now, let's welcome Dr. Ramanujam Meganathan. Sir, namaskar and welcome to the session. Sir is Professor from Department of Education in Languages from NCERT New Delhi. And sir, with you we are going to take this forward. But before I ask you direct questions, I want you to tell us what exactly we are going to focus in today's session, why we're having this session and what are the key points that you'll be stressing upon.
All right, thank you for the good introduction to the training program, because it's a training program.
Yes.
So we are professionally equipping the teachers and educators, pedagogues, researchers, even students, whoever has joined, whoever is willing to learn. In this context, we are today, this session, about 50 minutes or so, we will be discussing, delving deep into what the policy says, particularly National Education Policy 2020 and the National Curriculum Framework, which is currently being introduced, being under implementation. We will be discussing how the language pedagogy enables teachers to make use of the ICT, what you call it, information communication technologies and digital devices to enrich learning experiences of learners.
Right.
So this is how, and I request people whoever is participating to raise any issues relating to language policy, language perspective, language pedagogy, so that we can get into a good discussion.
Absolutely. Let's have interaction with you people, and since it's going to be a program that also has some activities, yes, today's session is quite interesting, so we would also like you to participate in the same. Now, sir, since you talked about that we are basically focusing on what the National Education Policy 2020 says about language learning. So my first question is regarding the policy perspective only. Policy perspective on language education with respect to NEP 2020. What is that?
Great. So it's time that it's high time that teachers learnt very well about the policy perspectives on language education, language pedagogy per se. The national policy looks into language education from different perspectives. One is the a language in education policy, how many languages?
Yeah.
3 language formula, and how all Indian languages can be learnt with equal proficiency. That's one.
Okay.
So, the second is the multilingualism as the strategy, policy, pedagogy. That means, India is a multilingual country. Linguistic diversity is the hallmark of this nation. So, let children learn as many languages possible. So, in a way, this policy liberates the 3 language formula, adding many more languages in the repertoire of children to learn.
Absolutely.
This is how. And on pedagogical perspective, pedagogical aspect, the policy stresses on experiential learning. The question now arises, what is experiential learning?
Absolutely, and that too with the reference to language learning. Also, under experiential learning, we talk about engagement with language. So, are these concepts interrelated?
Definitely. Now, if you look at the slide there, it says that engaging pedagogies. What is engaging pedagogies? When you get into water and swim, you are engaging in swimming.
Yes.
So, when you drive a vehicle, you are engaging.
True.
And suppose I know everything about all the vehicles, but I can't drive, that is not an engagement. So, the same way, when we use language for purposes, that is engagement.
Yeah.
What are the purposes? I speak, read, write, listen and interpret, make meaning.
Wow.
I have said a lot of things. So, in that case, experiential learning in language education, language pedagogy is learning to do things by doing things.
Okay.
How do we do? You learn cycling by riding on a bicycle.
Learning by doing. Yes.
So, that is what. So, learners use language for purposes.
Yeah.
So, this is what. For example, a conversational situation. You have to make a request to somebody, a new person. So, how do you do? How do you learn? You do it and learn.
Yes.
And you read stories, poetry, play, what else and what not as text to indulge in language learning. That is what experiential learning.
Yes, and we can see the slide as well because you've mentioned all these points in your slides.
So, now I am going to throw some experiential activities for those who are here.
Yes.
In that. So, the mystery of learning is we do not know how children learn, particularly language learning. So, here is an experiential activity for you, teachers as well as you. So, there are 6 differences between these 2 pictures.
Okay.
So, I want you to observe and say the 6 differences in complete sentences.
Okay, and I think this is not just for me but also for everybody who is watching us right now. So, this is the picture. Let us have the picture, full screen picture, so that we can observe it clearly. So, the clear difference that the zebra is facing the north direction, let us say.
In the first picture.
In the picture which is at the bottom, and at the top it's facing the south direction. Just it's the face is in the opposite direction. That's the first difference. Secondly, the sun is not there at the picture that is at the top, but yes, it's there in the picture at the bottom. And then I need to find 4 more differences. Why don't you also participate?
No. Okay, look at the zebra. Zebra at the top, behind which there's a branch of a tree here. Down below, it's not there. So, I would like to see it as an experiential learning.
Yeah.
Why? Because you see, you feel, and you make meaning out of it, and you use language for purpose.
And that is quite engaging also.
Yes.
Because you're learning to frame sentences. It is also enhancing your observation powers, and of course, it giving way to your analytical thinking.
Teachers, this is what the policy wants we to have in the textbook, in the classroom, to have tasks and activities so that children can feel and generate language. I am using the word very conscientiously, this one, generating language.
Yes.
We use language for purposes. Okay.
And you know what's the rest 3 differences can be figured out by the viewers.
Let the
it's your homework.
So, now slightly indifferent of kind of problem solving experience. How many animals do you see here?
I see 4.
4.
No, rather 5. I would say 5.
What are they?
Okay, there's a horse, there is a rabbit, there is a cat, there is a pig, and there is one more. I guess it's cow. It's a cow.
Cow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think viewers who are watching here, I say there is another animal.
Oh.
Find it.
Okay,
If it is so, if you accept it, I will tell you later. Okay, now.
But I think I answered 5 correctly.
5 correctly. You are right. You are right.
So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
it means what kind of powers do I possess?
Yeah, you are making manipulating your linguistic as well as cognitive faculty.
Okay.
Number 1. Number 2. You are ruling out whichever is not possible.
All right.
So you at the first instant you must have been you must have seen only the big animals.
Yes.
Then you must, oh no, it's not 3, it's 4, it's 5.
Yeah.
So this is what we call it manipulation.
Okay.
And in order to tell me and the viewers, you are using language. So as you said, observation as well as manipulation to speak out. We call it output, language output.
And you don't have to do cheating. I didn't cheat, I'm seeing this picture for the first time.
All right. Now,
Okay.
Now I'm going to give you slightly tougher.
Okay.
Okay. This is mathematics also. What's that? Problem solving and problem posing activities. Okay. I do not know which language the above the line at the top is written.
Okay.
But who can drink water first here?
Who can drink water first? I think it's number 3.
Number 3.
That's what I feel.
Number 3. Sure. Anybody else?
Well, okay. I stand by number 3.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Viewers, teachers, anybody else there? So I say no.
Oh, it's 4. Now I figured out, because yes, the pipe connected to the 4th cup is a little lower at the lower end. So yes.
Not only that, and I think yeah, that's one. The other one.
Another?
What about why not 1?
Because of course it will take some time to reach the water to that level.
Fine. You also must see the blockades in the pipes. In number 1, there is a blockade in the pipe as it turns down.
Oh yes.
Then also what about number 1? Will he drink first?
I still say it's number 4 only.
Number 4 only.
Yeah.
So number 4.
Because there is a blockage in number 1's pipe.
Number 4 also there is a blockade.
Where is the blockage?
From the tank.
From the tank? Okay, I can't see it, but I'm sure viewers are seeing
Number
it.
3 also there is a blockade at the end of the pipe. So
oh yes, oh my God, yes, the pipes are it's a close-ended pipe with number 3.
So number 4 also from the tank it is blockade. Why? Fine.
Oh yes,
So
of course.
Most likely who will be drinking? Number 2 will be drinking.
Number 2 will be drinking. Yeah, it's open-ended and there is no blockage also.
This is what we call it problem solving. I gave you problem posing activity. You solve it. Problem solving experience.
You don't need to rush. Take your time. Otherwise, you won't be able to give the correct answer.
So that's one thing. One is what and all happening. We call it mental processing, language processing.
Yeah.
You are processing something, and even though there are arguments that thinking and language is not connected, but actually we feel mostly connected.
Absolutely.
So, we call it language processing in our mind. I don't want to take the name Chomsky. He also said that many people have proved that this language processing happens. This is what this policy calls it, experiential learning.
Oh yes.
So you feel an experience in order to, while learning the language.
Because you get so engaged in the activity, and today in the it's in an era of ICT, we're talking about immersive technologies that are engaging in nature, and so are these activities quite engaging.
Yes.
You get immersed into it because you want to solve the problem.
Now coming to the use of technology, so learners can try by animated thing whether water can go or not, having solved it.
Yes.
So to test the hypothesis.
Yeah.
So this is what we would like to call experiential learning.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now I am going to give you a slightly simpler comparison.
Okay.
I will come to that, how from listening to speaking to reading to writing comes in.
Okay.
So generally what we feel reading is textual reading, but here we read the picture. So here also 6 differences. I give it to the trainees here. We shouldn't be calling them trainees. Participants here to understand it. Then what will be the experience of a learner of class 4 or class 6 or class 7? So look at it. So this is slightly difficult. Can you find the differences? It's slightly difficult. So gradually we can move forward.
Yes.
and increase the experiences of the learners,
Difficulty
and
level
in due course of time, the learners will be able to find the solution
Oh, yes.
and identify. So, dear participants, let me also tell you, language learning is noticing, noticing the speech, noticing the keywords, noticing the pragmatics, that is rising tone, falling tone, emotions, then you produce language. So, let us focus on providing such experiences to learners. This is still slightly difficult for the age of class 5, class 6. Then they will be working in groups in order to arrive at a kind of production of language.
Yes.
That is why.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you asked for a question of what is engagement with language.
Yes, yes.
Engaging learning with the language. So, what did we do when I asked you to compare the picture and the riddle kind of thing to solve it? What did you do?
I was totally involved in the activity.
So, you work with the idea, work in the language, in the
Okay.
idea.
Right.
How and why? What did you do when you found the difference in the pictures? So, I call it language learning is working in language. So, it is because language learning involves, as I said, let me say it again, noticing and understanding the meaning, and you make meaning out of it.
Yes.
Supposing you say that the first one does not get the water because there is a blockade.
There's a
You are ruling out the possibilities and trying to find out the single most reason through your logical thinking.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah. Please.
Okay. Now, sir, we have understood that experiential learning is the way forward, and that's how you can learn the language and you can understand and comprehend the concepts as well. Now, since India is a diverse country with so many languages and dialects, so here we talk about multilingualism. Now, what exactly this term means, and also what about multilingual education here in the country? How do these kids learn who come from different backgrounds?
That's right. Okay. Now, how many languages you know?
I know 3 languages.
Yeah, and all those who are participating in this training, if I ask anybody who knows only one language,
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible in this country to
Yes.
know a person, at least in this academic situation.
True.
Sir, I know only one language, but this is possible in Europe. This is
Yes.
possible in United States of America.
Yes, yes.
So, in this case, this country is naturally socially multilingual. So, this policy, not only now, from since independence, all education policies and curricular frameworks recognize, understand that Indian language learning is multilingual language learning.
Yes.
So, as they enter the classroom, 2 languages, one language they bring to classroom.
Yes.
Many children bring more than one language to classroom.
Of course.
So, 2 languages minimum, then English language is also introduced, and later the third language is introduced.
Yeah.
So, this policy understands the importance of enabling children to be multilinguals. That is one. And how can the technology support multilingualism?
Yes.
The multilingualism is understood in 3 or 4 different ways in this country, and the policy also. I am taking then and there the policy statement, because policy is the for us the benchmark.
Yeah.
We need to achieve that. So, in this case, multilingualism, if you look at the slide there, the multilingual education is promoted as overarching philosophy of school education. What is overarching philosophy of school education for language education? Not only language education, overarching philosophy of all subjects. Okay. Because as you said that you know 3 languages, many children know more than 2, 3, 4 languages. In tribal minor context, tribal language, they will know their tribal language, then the state language, then English language.
Yeah.
Then of course, Hindi also comes as the third language in most part of the country, and or any other Indian language. So, in that case, understand that education needs to understand this is the overarching philosophy, and on the premise the language education and the whole education stands. because we learn other languages through real language, we believe that.
Yeah.
And of course, we understand the cognitive abilities. So, multilingualism as the overarching philosophy for school education is understanding language is central to all learning.
Right.
Then multilingualism also, I am a Tamil speaker, you are a Punjabi speaker or Hindi speaker. So, we are here and we understand each other's culture.
Yes.
So, multilingualism also promotes multiculturalism. So,
Yes.
other people's behaviors, cultures, dress, so on and so forth. So, that is the first thing of multilingualism is as overarching philosophy. Let us look at now multilingualism as policy.
Okay.
This policy promotes learning of all Indian languages and also English and foreign languages with equal proficiency. We discussed that.
Right.
So, how many languages in school? Under 3 language formula, there are 3 languages. Now, the policy says that we can learn foreign language, we can learn classical language, any other Indian language besides the 3 languages. So, this is where the technology comes into help. For example, NCERT with Central Institute of Indian Languages, we have developed primers in all 121 languages.
Wow.
They are available digitally. We also have Bhasha Sangam and 100 sentences in 22 Indian languages given in trilingual format. For example, Tamil, Hindi and English, the Punjabi, Hindi and English, Hindi and English. So, this is how we promote all languages.
Yes.
And one most important thing for teachers to understand is this policy, language in education policy and pedagogy promotes mother tongue based multilingualism.
Oh, yes.
What is mother tongue based multilingualism? All children begin their schooling in their mother tongue,
yes.
and add many more languages.
Yes.
So, why mother tongue is important? Children understand, comprehend in the mother tongue first very well, then move on to another languages. So, placing the language at the mother tongue at the basis for learning languages is very important.
Yes.
So, that is what as a policy. Then look at it, what is multilingualism as a pedagogy? Learners, we are talking, the participants here, we are now talking about and talking of the engaging pedagogies,
Yes.
experiential learning with the use of technology. So, how can making use of the many languages become pedagogy? Supposing I am an English language teacher, let us say.
Yeah.
Then there are 5-6 languages in the classroom. I teach a reading lesson, a story. I tell them in a particular language and ask children to tell in their language. So, that is what multilingualism as a pedagogy. So, now what is multilingualism as a resource? So, the another dimension is resource. Suppose I make use of the other languages to drive home on the point. For example, a maths teacher, a science teacher in an English medium classroom or Hindi medium classroom or Bengali medium classroom makes use of the other language phrases, words.
Yes.
That is one resource. The other one is, if I know one language, suppose let me tell you, ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. How do you manipulate? Suppose you go to a dukandar, shopkeeper, then you want to buy something.
Yeah.
You feel that sometimes you may use Punjabi, sometimes you may use
Hindi or English.
whatever. So, and when you read English, then when you read Punjabi, the skills you have acquired in reading Punjabi, the skills acquired or in for me Tamil, which is better because I am a mother tongue Tamil mother tongue speaker. The skills I acquired in reading for Tamil is transferred to English when I read.
Yes, of course, because you think in your mother tongue only.
Yeah, so there are 5-6 kinds of language transfers. This is what we call it resource transfer, language transfer, skill transfer. I would like to see the slide. The slide says, look at the bottom, there are 5 types of transfers across languages. One is conceptual elements understanding. So, you understood one thing in mathematical concept in Hindi. So, you are asked to tell in English, you will be saying it. So, that metacognitive and meta-linguistic strategies. Some of the things you understand not simply deep into that from above. So, meta-linguistic, so supposing someone speaks angrily in any language, you will understand. So, that is one transfer.
Yeah.
And the pragmatic aspects, the emotions, then specific linguistic elements. So, in each language has some peculiarity and speciality that you understand. Then phonological awareness. Suppose what is phonological awareness? Basic awareness is letters. Language consists of letters, sounds, words, sentences, paragraphs. So, you can move from one to another.
Yes.
So, multilingualism, dear participants, understand it has various dimensions. Understand that apply such strategies in the classroom using technology, digital devices, so that you can make your learners learning engaging.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, now we have understood that what is multilingualism and how even the government is also promoting education in varied languages, and we are not just talking about bilingual anymore, we are talking about multilingual thing. Now, sir, if we talk about the proficiency, because you mentioned the word proficiency, that language has to be learned with proficiency, and by proficiency do we mean reading, writing, speaking and listening skills? Do we mean that by proficiency?
That's one. And language learning is complex, comprehensive. The national policy makes it mandatory by the time children reach class 2. That is by class 3. That means 3 years of pre class 1 and grades 1 and 2, which we call it foundational stage.
Yes.
Foundational learning, language learning and numeracy.
Okay.
By the time they reach class 3, we expect children to read meaningfully with understanding.
With understanding. So, sir, how does the policy promotes all languages with equal proficiency among learners?
That's what. Supposing I am with only one language, but when children come to class 1, there are 2 languages.
Yes.
So, we expect all children to be able to read, because first 3 years in the mother tongue, maybe some sort of English also is there in this country now, we can't deny that.
Yes.
These kindergarten schools, classes. So, by the time they reach class 1, they would have acquired some sort of proficiency orally in one language.
Okay.
That skills get transferred into the second language. So, by the time when they come to class 3, 2 languages are acquired.
Okay.
Very well. So, but the policy says that the activities, the books, the materials, the pedagogy should be such that the learners acquire language equally, because there is a possibility always of language skill transfer. This is one. Second one is the as they move forward to classes, higher classes, means classes 3, 4, 5 and 6, the third or fourth language is introduced, including sometimes foreign language in some schools.
Yes.
So, they should be able to achieve that, acquire the equal proficiency, because the basic language skills are the same.
Right.
The competencies you said, listening, speaking, reading, writing, grammatical competencies, vocabulary,
pronunciations,
everything. So, in order to take you a bit further, how this experiential learning leads to a kind of language acquisition, let me throw a riddle at the participants here.
Okay.
Here is a riddle. I would like you to read. Could you read, or should I?
Sure, I can read if we can make it full screen. So, it's a riddle: she-goat, wolf, and there is a cabbage. Okay.
Please show the screen only.
Yeah. A farmer returns from the market where he bought a she-goat, a cabbage and a wolf. What a crazy market. On the way home, he must cross a river. His boat is small and won't fit more than one of his purchases. He cannot leave the she-goat alone with the cabbage because the she-goat would eat it, nor he can leave the she-goat alone with the wolf because the she-goat would be eaten by the wolf. So, how can the farmer get everything on the other side in this river crossing puzzle? Quite interesting.
Okay, now I am going to give you some support, not clues. So, you can solve it like this.
Okay.
First trip, second trip, third trip, fourth trip. So, I will keep the riddle for you. I will draw it riddle for you. You can say in the first trip, what will he do?
I think he will take the she-goat along.
Okay.
Because then the wolf won't eat the cabbage, and then he can.
So here, what is left on one side? Wolf and the cabbage.
Yes. and she goat is on the other side.
Okay.
So that's the first trip.
Then comes back.
Yes.
Then takes what?
Now here I'm confused.
Okay, participants, you try. If he takes the cabbage and leaves it there, goat will eat.
Yes.
Then if you take the wolf there, problem.
Goat would be eaten.
So what will be the solution? Now this is what we call it experiential learning, problem solving learning.
Okay.
So you having read the riddle, that is reading. Now you suppose a teacher puts in groups of 4 to solve it.
Yes.
Then you will be able to find children working together, speaking not only in one language, English or Hindi, they will be speaking many languages.
Many languages.
So multilingualism happens.
Yes.
So my question is, you have to answer me, how do we make use of the technology for this? So here, this if you look at this paper I am solving, you will find that children can use the animated thing anyway.
Oh,
so
yes.
so let me give a clue here.
For the second trip.
Second trip, the farmer will take the wolf there.
Okay. And bring the goat back.
Back. Then there is a problem there again. So because the goat will eat the cabbage.
Yes.
So, let me tell you, the farmer will take the cabbage there and leave it. Okay.
Okay.
The cabbage is left there and the goat is coming back.
Okay.
Then now he leaves the goats there.
Oh, yes.
Then he takes the wolf there.
Yeah.
So wolf cannot eat the cabbage. I don't know anywhere wolf is eating.
We
cabbage.
haven't seen vegetarian wolves.
So then he comes back and takes the goat.
Goat there.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is easy one. So this is how technology, this can be told as a story, audio, whatever.
Through animation, it will be quite interesting and catchy as well, right?
Now, I'm going to ask you learners, means participants there and you. Here is another thing for you.
Okay.
There is this riddle is slightly difficult. I'm not going to solve it for you. You can solve it.
Okay.
Please let us see it on screen.
Yeah.
3 humans, 1 big monkey, 2 small monkeys are to cross a river. Only humans and big monkey can row the boat. At all times, the number of humans on either side of the river must be greater or equal to the number of monkeys on that side.
Okay.
Or else humans will be assaulted by the monkeys.
Oh.
The boat only has room for 2, either monkeys or humans. Monkeys can jump out of the boat when it is banked. Now, I am throwing this at class 6 children.
Yeah.
Or class 7 children, even class 8 children. There is some mathematics, some logic involved.
Yes.
So this is what we call it experiential learning.
True.
So suppose if I organize a task based kind of activity, communicative classroom, put 4 children in let's say, come on children, let us solve this riddle in groups of 4. So you can speak in any language. But if I am an English teacher, I will say that try to speak maximum in English. No issue, any language you speak. Then they will be drawing, manipulating, solving it. Then some will come out with the not so correct answer. Someone will. So this is what is required for an engaging pedagogy. This policy wants that to happen in the classroom.
And it is so interesting and so important also. I remember when I was a student, we were made to write paragraphs and essays, we were given a topic, but hardly any time for discussion. But I think that is also a little monotonous, because when you are having riddles in front of you or such puzzles and you work in a team, that definitely encourages you to work with the people, understand their viewpoints. Of course, multilingualism it promotes. It also promotes, I would say, working with a shared goal, and also it promotes language, because you discuss. It's not that one is proficient and can give the right answers, but everybody comes up, they contribute, and then you form the right answer. You learn the language also.
Okay. That's what the case for language learning. And language learning happens when children use language for purposes.
Oh yes.
But what actually we have done over the years, teachers read out and explain.
Yes.
You do it, 1 reading, 2 reading, but at least 1 reading let children do. That's what the policy as experiential learning.
But we used to have very few such lessons. I remember in class 9th I had this chapter, Lady or the Tiger. That gave enough room for imagining, for debate, for discussions. I think we need more of lessons like that.
So what actually you drive home the point that the texts we give it to children should be such that children can connect with their lives, number one, previous knowledge. The other one is the engaging, interesting. So how do we find that? Okay, let me take 2-3 minutes to explain to the participants how learning takes place when children grow up. Okay, let's look at this slide there. Okay. Now here it is, speech reception. It will be extraordinary to see children have remarkable auditory abilities. 1 day old babies can understand mother speaking normally and abnormally.
Wow.
And stranger they respond to mother's call. Then they turn towards the source of the sound in days of birth, within 2-3 days. And to know human and non-human voice within weeks they understand. They discriminate certain consonants like p, b, t, d within 4-5 weeks. So look at that human brain, its capacity. Because we are talking about experiential learning, engaging learning. Look at it. Within 2 to 4 months, they respond to meaning of different tones and voices. That is why we always say that when you see small children, newborn babies talk very politely. And from 6 months, they will understand hello, bye bye, clap, individual family names. But what we understand, so they do not know anything. So by the end of the year, several words are recognized. So how this happens? Because when a new baby is born, the grandfather, mother, uncle, auntie, aunt, everybody is speaking to the child, even though they know that he won't be or she won't be responding. So there is some conversational pressure. This positive pressure, not the negative pressure. So this has to happen in the classroom. Children should be given opportunity to make use of the languages. So there is an audio listen to, respond to it. Then babies are learning how people use language for pragmatic purposes. This is what we are now doing. So this we call it emotions, emotive language. So there are lots of things. So this Chomsky called it children are coming with language acquisition device. Whatever the terminology we use, language is inbuilt, it is also biological. So that means our brain and our the mouth and the throat, it is tuned to producing language. So then one important thing, multilingualism we are talking about. I know one language, I learn another language, many languages. So there is a commonality in languages. What is that commonality? Every language has a letter, sound, word, I said no. So we call it a universal grammar. That means there is a verb, action word. There is a naming word, noun. So in this case, learners should be able to understand languages at one level are common. So if I learn one language, I can learn any number of languages. So this is also part of the experiential learning. Now let me show the slide. Supposing what is required for a technology enabled or otherwise language learning. Let me take here technology enabled. That's what the policy wants. Suppose I am in class 7. Let me take a higher class, or I am in class 2. Why do we teach them rhymes when they don't understand complete meaning of the rhymes?
That's quite interesting.
Because there is a melodic experience and we are teaching meaning to them. This is what we call input. What is that input? Input is a story, a text, something is given and learners receive it. We call it intake, not in the mechanical sense. Then when they produce language, the learning must be, if you look at the slide here.
But so there is one more thing though, they do not translate the meanings, but they also show them the sign language. In sign language they emote. That how rain comes down and what clouds are like, or how flower blooms.
So that action songs. So whatever is given to them in the classroom, as you can see in the slide, is I. Suppose if I ask you a kind of, you may call it a stupid question, how much English or Hindi you know?
How much English or Hindi? Well, I cannot say much because.
But you are confident that you can speak,
Yes,
read, write.
yes.
So, that level is I.
Oh.
Then in a class 7 child or class 2 child, the child should get slightly above what his standard is
Okay.
in the common acceptance, and we call it I plus 1 is the input.
Okay. Okay.
Then, but that is not sufficient. They should interact. I have given the classroom, the syllabus, NCERT textbook or any textbook has given some text,
Yes.
some song, some grammatical activity, some task. So, that is I plus 1 to slightly above your level.
All right.
But however, that is not sufficient. If you look at the slide again, we need to get learners talk.
Yes, interaction.
So, then that it leads to output, that is language production.
Oh,
So,
yes.
this is what Creation was a linguist, is there, very old. This we call it input hypothesis.
And that is why everybody is encouraged to talk, to converse, to interact, no matter how correctly you frame the sentences or how wrong you are, but you need to interact first.
So, let me also take you to another example. I am going to read out 6 sentences 2 times.
Okay.
I also want you to write and the participants to write.
Yeah.
I will repeat, this is the rule of the law. One is 6 sentences I will repeat twice.
Okay.
I will say twice. I will repeat once, and that means
Yeah.
I will say twice. You listen to it. You may close your eyes, but I don't want you to close your eyes. The participants there.
Yes.
Close your eyes, then say it or write it. Okay. Here is an experiential activity.
Okay.
Okay. Here it. Come on. Let's start. Where were you yesterday? How old are you? All that glitters is not gold. All that glitters is not gold. Play while you play. Work while you work. Play while you play. Work while you work. Talk less and work more. Talk less and work more. Where there is a will, there is a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. Come on, write it.
Okay. So you want me to write it? Okay. I can say it orally, verbally, right?
Yeah, fine. Go ahead.
Where were you yesterday? How old are you? Then where there is a will, there is a way. All that glitters is not gold. It's not in a sequence.
No issue. Oh.
And then I can remember.
All
only
right.
4.
Let's look at the slide there. Yeah. So now. So all the sentences are, people like you and I are familiar sentences.
Yes.
Let us look at a class 3 child or class 7 child. It may not be familiar to them.
Yes.
They listen to it, they manipulate, and they try to recall.
Yeah.
It's a very trivial activity.
True.
So, but now let's look at how vocabulary learning can be experiential, where technology also comes into.
Okay.
Now I am going to show you this one. Sorry. So I am going to ask you to make a word web out of this.
Okay.
That is, home is the word. Come on, let's look at the screen here. Home from the writing. So I have given home. Fine. Now you will have to formulate find words which are related to home.
Okay.
I only want you to do physical.
Okay.
Physical things related. What are they?
Furniture.
Furniture.
Yes.
Let us put some name. Table.
Table. Okay.
Table and chair. Okay.
Chairs.
Then next one.
Television.
Television.
Laptop or computer.
Okay, and let us take not simply take the urban setting.
Yes.
Rural. So I'm writing a word kitchen. Let us say.
Okay. Mat.
So mat.
Utensils.
Utensils.
Earthen pots.
Okay. Within pots. Okay.
Yeah. Clothes.
Clothes. Door maybe.
Yes.
Now look at it. There are many ways this can be enhanced,
Yes.
expanded.
Yeah.
One is asking children to write in another language. whichever language they know. Number one. Number two, suppose each of these, look at the picture here, each of these, suppose what are the things you can further formulate, find words which relate to television, which relate to map,
Wow. Yeah.
mat, kitchen. So, a kind of the experience is expanded.
Yes.
So, this is what we want the technology to help people. This is what we want children to understand, teachers to understand from the policy perspective, devise your own activities, making use of the technology and move forward.
True.
Now let us look at the other one. Here is an activity collocation.
Okay.
The word given at the center is water. So, now we asked class 5 children in Delhi to find words which can befriend the word water.
Okay, okay.
So, look at the first one is moved a bit. Children started writing first water side, waterway, watertight. Can you read?
Yes, watermark, watershed, waterproof, water bank, water meter, water purifier, watermelon and water tank.
Okay. Look at it. This water meter, because it's urban.
Yes.
So, there is a meter in every water meter is given by the municipal corporation something. So, how many words formulated from collated, I mean collocated. That means this is followed by water.
Yeah.
Suppose if I ask you what are the words which can come before water?
Before water?
One is hot water.
Hot water, okay. Rainwater.
Rainwater, yeah.
Then cold water.
Fine, naturally, yeah.
Okay, lukewarm water. Sweet water.
Okay. Sorry, yeah.
And then dirty water.
Okay. So, what is happening to your brain now? You are manipulating, you are trying to find things.
You know, sir, we have received a reply, somebody saying coconut water.
Oh, great, great. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Coconut water, fine.
Yes.
So, many. So, supposing the word water is given at the middle, then these words are given in a box down.
Yes.
Let children drag it and put it.
Oh,
this
yes.
we call it a vocabulary activity.
True.
So, this is how we want teachers to understand the National Education Policy 2020 and the National Curriculum Frameworks for foundational stage and school education to enable learners experience to come out with language learning equal proficiency. The activities which we have demonstrated here can be multilingual.
Oh, yes.
Learning many languages. So, this is how we are expecting children to understand. So, let's look at the slide here. I said input.
Yes.
What is the input here? I gave only one input, water.
Water.
Only one word. So, 100 things, many things came out.
Yeah.
Then how we interacted, many interacted.
Yes.
And then that input is enriched by interaction.
Yes.
Then the output is language generation.
Yeah.
Supposing we put children in a conversational mode, in a role play mode, then that you are the teacher, you are the parent, you are the student. So, there is a role play, people are conversing for and against homework. So, lot of sentences are generated. So, this is how we would like to expect children to work.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, please.
So, I think this is a very beautiful quotation, and we are also running short of time, and you have mentioned this thing, I hear. That's a very beautiful, I would say, quote. I want you to kindly put that on the screen, sir.
Which
because the last slide where it says that you only learn by doing. I hear, I remember, something like that.
Before that, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, I hear, I forget.
Yeah.
I see, I remember. I do, I learn. So, we want experiential learning from policy perspective to be promoted in the classroom, inside and in and outside the classroom. I've given 3 more sentences there. Errors are indications of learning while learning. not while going for job. You should be perfect, we should be skilled.
Yes.
Perfection leads to apprehension, meaning while learning children would commit mistake. Children do commit mistake, accept it. So, errors need not be corrected then and there in public. Let children notice the error.
Oh, yes.
Experiential learning also comes from the perspective, I speak something, I manipulate in my language processing, I revisit and correct. Then there is something called continual learning. I am not saying continuous learning. The difference between continual and continuous, let me ask you a question. It cannot rain 2 nights continuously, why?
Sir, repeat.
It cannot rain 2 nights continuously, why?
It cannot rain 2 nights continuously because there is a day in between.
That's right. So, that's a great thing. Generally people say, no, it can rain in South India, it rains 3 nights continuously.
Okay.
In Sirabunji, in Bengal, because that's a day in between.
Yeah.
So, the same way, continual, you cannot do things continuously, that become repetition, mental fatigue.
True.
That today's children are facing, particularly classes 11 and 12,
yes.
10. So, let us give children one experience first, suppose this kind of activity, then after a week you repeat it, not continuously.
True.
This is how. So,
and now, so we're left with no time, but it was a great interaction. I really enjoyed the session, and I think now I'm ready for the questions. And I think you can, make us see the last slide where we can frame a story, and that's a homework for the kids and for everybody who's watching us.
The homework for them is something else. I would like to request them. The homework is, of course, you will be doing the 10 multiple choice questions. Plus that, of course, if you want, let them write this story of it. And I want each one of you to write 2 versions of the story. 2 versions, not 1 version. We are adults.
Right.
This is in addition to that, I would request you to write your language learning autobiography.
Absolutely.
How today you think you learnt your mother tongue, how today you think you learnt your second language.
Lovely, lovely. And sir, thank you so much for your wonderful contribution to the session. It was day 1 of the session where we talked about ICT for teaching and learning of languages, perspective, need and scope. And let me take you to the website very quickly because there is going to be an assessment as well. So you have to log on to our CIET website, and the website is right there on the screen. Go to the activities section here and then choose the option of workshop and training, and here scroll down and you will find ICT for teaching and learning of languages. This is the umbrella themes, and tomorrow on day 2 we will be talking about audio and video resources for teaching and learning of languages. Here is a complete write-up. Anybody can participate. These are the objectives, program schedule, and we will be uploading the videos as well here. And how to participate: register yourself. There are 2 options: click the link or scan the code. Watch all the programs attentively. Step 3, you have to take up the online assessment course or online course, and you have to participate in the assessment. If you score more than 70%, you'll be granted a certificate. And please make sure to read the guidelines before you attempt the assessment. Last but not the least, you can submit your feedback by the end of the training program by scanning this QR code. And on a daily basis or during the sessions, you can write to us on training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in or call on this number. And after that, it's time for me to update you about something else, which is equally important, and that is the upcoming competition. We have been making these announcements. Yes, the last date has been extended. That's 15th of January 2025. And here are the details. You can visit the same website for more. And now coming up next for you is our session Sahyog. This is the entire live schedule in front of you. You can take a note of it. All these programs that you have watched are uploaded on our YouTube channel. And in a short while, you will watch the session Sahyog. With this, it's a wrap. This is me, Harpreet Kaur, taking leave of you. Namaskar.